mediocre cover band guitar guy. How's it going? Hope everybody had a great holiday season. I know mine was kind of short. I worked pretty well the whole duration of Christmas. I think I had one day off, 2 days maybe. But I did get to spend some time with family, and that was pretty cool. But I want you all to do me a favor, okay? I want you to take one positive thing musically that happened to you in 2024, and I want you to sit down and think about it for a few minutes. Let it just wash over, that whole memory wash over you, and how good it felt. And then I want you to concentrate on that for a little while, as opposed to thinking about anything negative that might have happened or whatever, okay? Just remember that for a little while and feel good again and relive it. Also in 2024, at the end of it, I figured out how to get rid of to fix the knob on the Fender Strat. I got another guitar. Um, so this is what I want to talk about this evening. Something that actually happened to me just before Christmas. I was in a music store, and there was a guy in there. You know, that guy that goes in and plays every riff that probably drives guitar store staff crazy. And he had a wingman, which was even weirder. So I go in and I'm looking at strings and stuff like that because that's what I went in for, obviously, because I can't afford guitars. So I go in and I'm going over to my Ernie Balls, but I was having a little mire around at the t-shirts and guitars that I can't afford and looking at them and feeling really shitty because I'm not going to leave at one of them. You know, I had to leave them there on the wall. And there's a guy over sitting on a stool and he's playing Crazy Train. He's playing Sweet Child of Mine. He's playing like a bunch of Guns N' Roses stuff, actually. I think he threw in a bit of Journey, stuff like that there. And he had his buddy. He wasn't playing any solos. He's playing all the main riffs to these songs. There was a lady there, probably, I'm going to say, definitely mid-30s. And she had her son, who was probably about 11. I know I'm painting the picture here, guys. It was about 11, and she was looking around, and the wingman, the guy that was with the guy who was playing guitar, just looks at her and just, it was almost like a Chris Farley moment. He goes, "He's only been playing for 8 months." And she stops, and the kids stop, and they look at him. Nobody else is paying attention to him. And she looks up and she said, "He must be naturally talented." And the guy goes, "He hasn't been playing very long," because I guess he had a limited vocabulary. I don't know. But anyway, she proceeded to start feeling kind of threatened and awkward at this point, from my opinion. I found it hilarious. But it thought to me, the thought that came to me was, is it actually natural talent, or did this guy do what so many guitar players did when they were young? This guy was probably about 21, and just play 9 hours of guitar a day until he got it. And I mean, like, it's a weird thing because I hear this a lot with people. You know, somebody must be naturally gifted or naturally talented. And I think it breaks up into different categories for really great players. Um, you know, you got players that are so great at learning techniques and playing fast and doing things, and they can't write a song. You know, but they have this great aptitude for learning. They've got this way of compartmentalizing information that they can remember licks, they can remember long passages, they can remember Jimi Hendrix solos and songs note for note without even blinking. But they can't write a song, and these guys become great teachers. I'm not going to name names. There's a few of them online that from back in my day. They're online now. They're on YouTube. But there were some of them back when I was coming up that, you know, they tried. They were part of the LA scene because everything was all shred when we were coming up, right? And you know, you had some of these guys, and people were like, "I don't understand. This guy was such a great guitar player. I don't know why he didn't make it." But he had that aptitude to learn how to play all these techniques, all the modes and scales and everything and in between. And then you got a guy like Slash who just seems to come up with riffs hand over fist. And people say, "Well, Slash is just a blues player. He plays a lot of pentatonic stuff." I think he does a little bit more than that. But you know, like, it was bare bones, you know, but he had that aptitude, he and Izzy, for writing songs, writing those riffs. Do you know what I mean? So my question is, what do you guys think about that? Like, when is it natural talent versus practice? I mean, I think you need to have like something of a talent to write a great song lyrically and come up with melody. I think a great ear and a good practice regime probably benefits you more than being able to remember, you know, 60,000 scales, especially when it comes to writing songs, you know. And I guess some people figure, well, no, you have to be naturally talented to be great. Like Eric Johnson is a great player. Now he's teaching. He's got his own thing going online and whatever. He's a great player. He knows like a lot of technique and he's just great. You know, he's got all that tone down and everything else. But did he develop that by having something like he didn't pick up a guitar one day and just start belting things out? There was work, right? Am I right? Am I wrong in thinking this? Like I said, I know some people have an aptitude for learning, and some people have this innate ability to sit down and practice for 9 hours without blinking, and some people are obsessed with practicing. That's something I heard from a local guitar player here who actually was to a point of being OCD about practice and needed 9 hours of practicing when he was a kid and went through, you know, so went through like he was seeing two guitar teachers at one time. One teacher was showing him how to play, you know, classical guitar, and the other guy was showing him how to play like your basic rock stuff, you know, your pentatonic scales, your chords, your power chords. This is a D. This is, you know, this is this song. This is how you play, whatever. And I don't know. I've always often thought about that when that conversation happened, and she said he must be naturally talented. I thought, or he planked his ass down in a chair and stayed there for 9 hours until he got something that he'd been working on all day. And I thought about my own struggles when I was younger, and we'll use Crazy Train. Um, I had to borrow a little bit. I can't read tabs very well. I don't, you know, I've talked about this before. I was diagnosed in my 30s with a slight learning disability and just a touch of being dyslexic a little bit, and numbers are really rough for me. It was a case at work today when I wrote something out. I had to check and recheck it, and sure enough, I caught it. I'd messed up a couple numbers. It was supposed to be 15, and I had a 51 there. But so tab was really hard, but I managed to beat the intro of Crazy Train through the little bit of understanding I had with tab and listening to the song over and over and over again and putting in that time and being there for hours and hours and hours and every day, waking up and going, okay, I'm going to master this today. I'm going to do this today because I was just a beginner, you know. So is it just, can some people pick up a guitar and it's like, yep, there you go. I can do it all in 2 days. And, you know, like Homer Simpson finished the internet in like 48 hours. Or do you think it just comes from putting in a lot of time or even maybe just a little bit of both? Like I said, I think Eddie Van Halen had something. I think Jimi Hendrix had something that we didn't have. And, you know, like even just basic guitar players, and not in an insulting way, like a Tom Petty, who wrote good songs. Chris Stapleton, who writes great songs, you know. Jason Isbell's a good guitar player and a good songwriter. Like he has something that a lot of us don't in there to be able to create melody. Like it's a great ear, it's a great sense of melody and a great little bit of everything. But they also had to put in a lot of that practice as well, right? So I don't think it's just the one thing. That's my opinion. And I'm curious to see what anybody else would think. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for tuning into the channel. I really, really appreciate it. If you could like and subscribe, I'd even appreciate that more. If you're going to comment on something, please watch the